Hello everyone, I hope you're doing well. Today we are back on the Drone Age dev server and it's time to have a look at the starting heli for the Chinese or the new Chinese helicopter tech tree. There is only 3 vehicles in it, the Gazelle, the Z11WA and also the Z19, but it's got to start somewhere, and as like all other helicopter tech trees, you have to either get to rank 5 of tanks or aircraft to be able to get access to it. Now the Gazelle is a very little nimble aircraft. It's actually quite nice because it gets a little bit more rockets than some of the other starter helis, and also has a large room for expansion when it comes to its modifications. The vehicle has the Turbomeca SA.342L turbo shaft engine right here, only has 1 to power it. This machine surprisingly has MVDs and actually has some pretty good optics for the general machinery that it has access to, so that's pretty cool to see. It's also got a really nice camo. It seems like this camo is like Marmite. Some individuals are really liking it, other people are really hating it. I'm definitely on that side of I like it. I think it looks like a tropical jungle, which I'm always a fan with. It reminds me of George of the Jungle, and for some reason Uncle Bulgaria out of the Wombles. So looking at the modifications, you start off with the Type 57-1 rocket. You get 36 of them. It pens 150mm, 130-75 respectively. Has access to a heat warhead, so this will be the thing that most people use to stop grind the machine in ground forces, and let's just say it's in a lot better spot than some of the other starter helis that exist when it comes to War Thunder. The UH-1B having 38 Mighty Mouse rockets for the Japanese, and that's all it gets with no room for expansion. The AB-205, of course, having access to 14 of the SNEBs, which is very sad. Whereas with the Gazelle, even though you only have 36 rockets to start with, what ends up happening is you can research a bunch of other options. So you have the HF7Ds, and then also you have the HJ8As. So the starter helicopter at 8.3 can get access to ATGMs, which is pretty nice. You can also, if you feel like it, use the 12.7mm. These are stock as well. So the 2 stock options are the 12.7mm and the Type 57 ones. You do have custom loadouts in this thing, so you can actually make them if you want to, but I think most people are just going to use the missiles and be done with it. The HJ8A has access to 250 meters per second. It's a SACLOS guided missile. Firing range is only 3 kilometers, which kind of sucks, but 480, 416, 240 millimeters. So on the penetration respectively. So if you are one of those people who likes helicopters and likes stuff like the Alouette, for example, this is going to have a very similar playstyle to it. Apart from this one should be a bit more maneuverable. It'll be more like stuff like the helicopters for France, which I can't remember the name of, at least very similar to them in a specific way. Like you can see here, the Gazelles is what they're called, which are sat, in this mid of the tech tree. So with the Gazelle here, you are able to bring the ATGMs, you're able to bring the guns, you're able to mix and match and flip and dip and see what you kind of like with it. For me, I think I would probably take, as I said, 4 of the ATGMs, but just to kind of show what the rockets are like, I think I'll just do this preset right here and just kind of wander around the good old test drive. When it comes to starter helicopters, they can definitely give people a good sense of what the tech tree is like, and what you generally want from that period of time is you want people to have positive experiences for the heli, and to have one which has access to ATGM straight away will give people more of a positive outlook on what the tech tree is like. If they don't do that, and if instead what ends up happening is you have access to a terrible heli, it can kind of screw you over in the long run, because you're not going to have a positive experience starting off, and generally that means that you'll have a negative one going forward. There's a reason why if people start off with a negative experience, usually they don't actually kind of go back. You know, they kind of just like, oh well, not gonna try that. Not gonna bother with it. But it's the same thing with, you know, parts of games. It does have a fully HD cockpit, which is quite nice. Your boy is just chilling over there, looking for some Titanic songs, and then also it has the glass cockpit and all of the features over here, which is quite nice. Whoop! It is a very light helicopter, so moving it around is quite easy to do. And also, I feel like if you are stocking this thing and you bring like the 2 sets of rockets, you could definitely could just kind of like flip and dip it around the place, fire a bunch of you know, rockets at people, and then just kind of hit them hard. Obviously, I'm not as good as some others when it comes to the helicopter stuff, but it does have MVDs, so it can be used in night battles. It is pretty maneuverable for what it is. I'm not sure if its flight performance is actually finished yet. It feels very wavy, and you can see some of the textures are not finished yet as well, in respect to the actual ATGMs themselves. So that's something else which is kind of chilling. Like, these helis are not finished, but they're in a pretty decent position, and also at the same time, maybe we'll see more Chinese helicopters as we go forward, which I'm sure we will, just like how we still need an American premium heli, which has kind of just been missed out for the longest time. As always, I hope you have a wonderful day, and I'll see you next time. I'd just like to thank Nicholas Richardson, Elove Goat, Pyman675, Winter Scientist, Merciless Reaper, Jerry Prevolt, Megadino King, Orange Tail, Teddy, John Ryman, Universe, Ambrosius McClellan, Daniel Stanton, Moxie, B. Young, Uncle Bean, Sem Arslan, Derek R., Bareen, Lafouche, and Samuel Slick for supporting the channel.